3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. Loki is dropping this week. Actually, tomorrow's the day that we're recording it. Meech and myself are here. We're going to talk to you about our previews and what we're expecting from the show.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to see multiple versions of Loki. You know, that's a fact.
Right. What about multiple versions of other characters like Thor, Odin, Heimdall? You think we're going to see multiple versions of them?
Maybe not Thor. I don't think the budget calls for Chris Hemsworth. You know what I mean?
Right, but not necessarily Thor. It could be a different version of
We
Thor, like
could
Throg, who we've seen in the past in the comics. Do you think we might see a Throg cameo?
Well, Throg is very situational.
Who knows where this show's going to go?
Honestly, we could see Throg in the MCU because like on that, like when Thor's hammer got broken, that's how Throg got his hammer, because like he picked up like a little piece of broken hammer.
Right. So I mean, hey, if there's any time to bring my man in.
So like if he was on that little island that Odin was on when Hela broke the hammer.
Yeah, makes sense. What about you? Any predictions you got?
I think we're gonna see like Loki as Thor.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Like kind of like a what if Loki was Thor type deal, or?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Definitely, I think we're most definitely going to see more versions of Loki throughout the whole series. She-Loki is kind of pretty much confirmed at this point that we're going to see her eventually.
Yeah.
And another character who I would be interested in seeing, who might be brought into this, do you think that there's any chance? I'm not trying to do Mephisto 2.0, but do you think that the Enchantress might come sometime in the series?
Possibly. You know, that's like very Asgardian. You know, I mean, I don't think so. Like, I think they're gonna keep it like time variance authority. So like, it's just gonna be Loki in the TVA, like chilling. Okay. You know what I mean? We could see Heimdall. You know.
Right. Some flashbacks.
Yeah.
Flashbacks, different versions. Because in this timeline, Heimdall's still alive, right? When Loki grabs the cube.
Yes, Heimdall is still alive because Heimdall
dies to Thanos.
Yes, but I don't know. But I don't think Idris Elba.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this all works out. How everything goes down.
Yeah.
With contracts between actors and timeline. It's getting kind of confusing right now, so we'll see where it goes. But
yeah, I'd like to see Kang, to be honest with you.
Oh, you think that he might make his first appearance in Loki before the Ant-Man series?
But I think it'd be like a cameo. You know what I mean? Like it won't be like big. He probably won't even have lines. It'll probably just be like at the end of Avengers, like when.
Oh, okay. Just kind of showing him, letting people know what's to come. Okay, I like that. Kang talking about a villain. In my opinion, I think that the villain of the Loki series is going to be the TVA. Do you trust them?
Yeah, they're no. From going by the comics, like they're usually just like their job is just pretty much is like make sure time runs right. You know what I mean?
Where were they when all these other things happened?
They were doing that's like in the synopsis of the show. It shows you what they're doing.
So you think they'll explain it more? Because where were they when Cap took the stones and he lived his own life?
Well,
brought them back?
As long as he doesn't. So I think as long as you don't mess with the timeline. And you have plans to bring, and they might have like talked to Cap, like that variance of Cap, unless
okay.
But there's also these things called the Time Lords, which are like they've seen beginning and the end of time, so they know how things are supposed to be. So maybe it was always meant to be that Cap was going to go back to the past.
Okay, yeah. So that explains a lot actually. So we'll have to see what their role is in the MCU because we don't really know much about them yet.
Yeah.
And what they're going to be, but. There's so much going on in this Loki series that can open up to so much in the world of the MCU, time travel, Ant-Man.
Yeah.
It just connects to so many different movies. I don't know how much of a connection it's going to have to Thor 4.
I think it'll have quite big connection. It's going to lead directly into it.
You think that this Loki is going to meet up with Thor, this timeline's Thor, eventually?
Yeah.
By the end of the series?
I think so.
Thor and Loki will be reunited?
I think... Well, maybe not the end of the series because it's gonna go for season 2. So I think maybe in between, like he'll just be like, "Hey, like I'm here," you know, or maybe they might not, you know, and just have like Loki be his own character, and maybe at the end of maybe when Loki finally finishes, maybe it's only a 2-season thing, 3-season thing. When that finally finishes, maybe like Thor 5 or whatever they want to do next for in the Thor circle.
Because it seems kind of in the Thor hemisphere they've hinted towards Beta Ray Bill before. They've hinted toward, well, obviously we know that they're going to go with the Jane Foster Thor version.
Yeah.
Who knows who's going to be Thor for Thor 5, Thor 6? Will it still be Chris Hemsworth or?
Yeah, it probably will still be Chris Hemsworth because even if he becomes unworthy Thor and not able to, it's still Odin's son. That's
right.
You know what I mean? And have Jane Foster just be Thor.
Right. Yeah. And Loki dropping Wednesdays now. The new for MCU Disney Plus shows.
I like it. But honestly, by the winter time, we might be getting Wednesdays Fridays and Mondays
between Star Wars and
Star Wars and Marvel properties.
Right, because we have Bad Batch on Fridays and Loki's on Wednesdays until Black Widow comes out.
Yeah.
And the MCU and Star Wars, I know that we say this a lot, but they're in good hands for the future.
I don't know about Star Wars, but Marvel's doing pretty good.
I know, but they're dropping content on the left and right.
Yeah, Star Wars is, but like it's all about what they're gonna do with it. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
All content isn't good content.
Right. And getting back to Loki, what version of Loki are you think you're most excited to see?
Yeah, I'm excited to see the main version of Loki. Like probably, like just the one that we're gonna be following.
Right, right. When you talk about him, he still hasn't fully redeemed himself. He still hasn't had Thor: Dark World happen.
Yeah, he's still a little evil.
He's still evil. So you think he's really going to, at least in the earlier part of the season, just embrace that darkness, like that dark Loki that we?
Yeah, he's gonna try to weasel. He's gonna try to weasel himself out. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, we already know that he's probably gonna stab someone in the back a couple times. But do you think that we're finally gonna see the evil full potential Loki using dark magic? And
no, I mean probably as like a villain, like as one of the variant Lokis that he has to kill, but like
not this Loki, not the main one that we follow.
No.
Okay, that's interesting. And the series should be interesting. I hope that they kind of keep on a track pace. And I'm not really a big guy of flashbacks in a show like this. I don't know how much you'd be feeling flashbacks maybe between...
Well, I mean, it depends what the flashbacks are. You know what I mean?
To Loki and Thor, Loki and Odin maybe, or Loki and even like Thanos, something like that. I don't know what the
I'd like to see the Loki Thanos stuff, like what happened in between.
Right, because we still don't fully know how that all went down.
Yeah, from the Rainbow Bridge to Avengers. We don't really know. We just know, all we know is that like that Loki got the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
That's it.
We'll see how big the budget is for this show, seeing how many cameos that we have from certain Avengers in time, but we'll see how far Loki bounces around in time. I think it's gonna be a really creative show, really fun show.
Yeah, like I like the fact that he's gonna be like certain people in history. You know,
right?
Like DB
cool.
Cooper, like you know who he is.
Yeah,
yeah.
You can explain that for the people that don't know.
So DB Cooper, he's probably like the most famous robber like of all time. Like he robbed the plane and jumped out with a parachute and then never was found. You know what I mean? So then they're explaining it as it was Loki who was DB Cooper, and the reason why he was never found because Heimdall zipped him out of there.
And that's why when I think we might get a Thor and Heimdall cameo, but it might be
it could be
past Thor, younger Thor.
It could be Sif as Heimdall, or we're in a Heimdall position.
Right,
because Sif is Heimdall's sister.
Oh, okay.
And she does take over for him.
Right, but. He wouldn't have said that. He would have said her name, though, not Heimdall.
Unless he was expecting it to be Heimdall.
All right, fair enough. Okay, the show's going to be creative, man. I can't wait to see where they go with it. And just through history, who knows what parts of history is going to go through, what characters he's going to meet up with different times.
Yeah.
It's going to really mess with a lot of things in the time zone. And like the Ancient One said, when one Infinity Stone is taken out of place, the whole timeline is changed, and I think that's what the story is really going to go through.
Yeah, and that's the answer to where the TVA were. You know what I mean? Okay. Like they're people are always going to figure out how to time travel in the Marvel universe. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so they're just fixing it, and chasing down Kang, because Kang is obviously a character, and Kang has been doing it for years, and he's been doing a whole bunch of stuff. You know, so he's just picking and choosing of
right,
what problems they're gonna go after instead of letting because maybe in every timeline Ultron attacks, maybe in every timeline Loki attacks. So just as long as as long as the events play out a certain way, then the TVA doesn't touch it. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean. This show will have to do a lot of explaining to. I think the show will do a great job explaining Kang in the MCU, his abilities, his roles, where he's able to go through time, and I'm just excited for the show, man.
Yeah, me too. Any other oddball theories you have? Anything crazy?
Any oddball theories? This might be crazy out of it, but at the end, I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Hiddleston isn't playing Loki anymore and he's reincarnated into a different version of Loki, who's the main Loki in the MCU. But maybe it's She-Loki, maybe it's Loki as a kid.
Oh, true. Again, yeah. That makes sense.
Maybe I don't know if Tom Hiddleston, how much he likes the role of Loki. I'm sure he loves it, but I don't know if he's done with it yet, like Chris Evans was.
Yeah.
He just wants to be done with it. But I see Loki is a character that you can easily keep in the MCU just by reincarnating him or bringing back.
I think Tom Hiddleston likes the role, so I don't think he wants. And it's not like he's in every single Marvel movie either.
Right.
I think he's only in 5.
Yeah, he's in pretty much all the Thors and a couple Avengers.
Yeah.
The Avengers, yeah, except for Ultron.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm excited. Meech is excited. We'll come back to you. I'm sure we'll get back to you guys with some more Loki content, MCU, Star Wars, hoops. All you already know the deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for joining us.
Peace out.